Seventh graders, it is Friday. Today we're going to compare and contrast the point of view of Hamilton Jefferson again, but this time in regards to the creation of a national bank. I'm going to keep this quick because I have a surprise for you. Hamilton argued for the establishment of the Bank of the United States. This national bank would hold money, tax money, and revenue that came in, but also would take deposits from state governments, from businesses, from private citizens, and in return, it would give out loans to people and citizens and state governments and act like a bank, except it would be run by the government of the United States. It also would print a national currency, which was something, if you recall, was definitely needed with the Articles of Confederation, and it would back up the value of this with gold. Jefferson, Madison, the Democratic Republicans strongly disagree with the idea of a national bank, solely on the idea that this power isn't in the Constitution. There's nowhere in the U.S. Constitution that says the federal government shall create a national bank. And the Democratic Republicans and Jefferson feel that if the government seizes power to do this, which is outside the Constitution, then it won't stop. It will keep taking more and more power. Hamilton says, no, sorry, Jefferson. This is actually constitutional. It's in Article 1 of the Constitution in the Necessary and Proper Clause, which states that Congress can pass laws that are necessary and proper to the United States. And in the end, Hamilton wins this debate. Washington gives his blessing, pushes for it within the Congress. Congress passes a bill creating the bank and giving it a 20-year charter. Now, you'll hear more about the Bank of the United States when we get into Andrew Jackson, who kills it. But speaking of killing it, since we've been talking about Hamilton and Jefferson this past week, if I had the money to take you on a field trip to Broadway and take you to a play, I would definitely take you to see Hamilton the musical. I would have to have a lot of money because it is not a cheap musical. Number two, we're in a situation where we can't really go on any trips anyway. So, with that, I've decided to do the next best thing. In the play Hamilton, there's two awesome scenes called Cabinet Battle Number 1 and Cabinet Battle Number 2, where the actors, seen here, portray Jefferson and Hamilton rap battling over different issues that they as cabinet members disagreed on. Rap battling about whether or not we should have the tariffs, rap battling on whether or not we should support the French in the revolution, or if we should side with British, so on and so forth. And once again, I can't bring you to see this live, so what I have found on the internet is a fantastic thing where they have animated different parts of Hamilton in a anime style, and have recreated these two scenes. So instead of listening to me talk about it, why don't we watch them?
Ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere in the world tonight, but you're here with us in New York City. Are you ready for a cabinet meeting, huh? The issue on the table: Secretary Hamilton's plan to assume state debt and establish a national bank. Secretary Jefferson, you have the floor, sir.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We fought for these ideals, we shouldn't settle for less. These are wise words, enterprising men quote them. Don't act surprised, you guys, cause I wrote them. Ow, but Hamilton forgets his plan would have the government assume state debts. Now place your bets as to who that benefits. The very seat of government where Hamilton sits.
Not true.
Oh, if the shoe fits, wear it. If New York's in debt, why should Virginia bear it? Our debts are paid, I'm afraid. Don't tax the South, cause we got it made in the shade. In Virginia, we plant seeds in the ground. We create, you just wanna move our money around. This financial plan is an outrageous demand, and it's too many pages for any man to understand. Stand with me in the land of the free. Pray to God we never see Hamilton's candidacy. Look, when Britain taxed our tea, we got frisky. Imagine what gon' happen when you try to tax our whiskey.
Thank you, Secretary Jefferson. Secretary Hamilton, your response.
Thomas, that was a real nice declaration. Welcome to the present, we're running a real nation. Would you like to join us? Or staying mellow, doing whatever the is you do in Monticello? If we assume the debts the union gets, a new line of credit, a financial diuretic, how do you not get it? If we're aggressive and competitive, the union gets a boost, you'd rather give it a sedative? A civics lesson from a slaver. Hey neighbor, your debts are paid cause you don't pay for labor. We plant seeds in the south, we create, they keep ranting. We know who's really doing the planting. And another thing, Mr. Age of Enlightenment, don't lecture me about the war, you didn't fight in it. You think I'm frightened of you, man? We almost died in the trench while you were off getting high with the French. Thomas Jefferson always hesitant with the president. Medicine, there isn't a plan he doesn't jettison. Madison, you mad as a hatter, so take your medicine. You in worse shape than the national debt is in. Sitting there useless as two. Hey, turn around, bend over, I'll show you where my shoe fits.
Excuse me. Madison, Jefferson, take a walk. Hamilton, take a walk. We're gonna reconvene after a brief recess. Hamilton,
Sir?
a word.
You don't have the votes.
You don't have the votes. You're gonna need congressional approval, and you don't have the votes. Such a blunder, sometimes it makes me wonder why I even bring the thunder.
Why he even brings the thunder?
You wanna pull yourself together?
I'm sorry, these Virginians are birds of a feather.
Young man, I'm from Virginia, so watch your mouth.
So we let Congress get held hostage by the South?
You need the votes.
No, we need bold strokes. We need this
No,
plan.
you need to convince more folks.
Well, James Madison won't talk to me. That's a non-starter.
Winning was easy, young man. Governing's hard.
They're being intransigent.
You have to find a compromise.
But they don't have a plan. They just hate mine.
Convince them otherwise.
And what happens if I don't get congressional approval?
I imagine they'll call for your removal.
Sir,
Figure it out, Alexander. That's an order from your commander. The issue on the table. France is on the verge of war with England. Now, do we provide aid and troops to our French allies, or do we stay out of it? Remember, my decision on this matter is not subject to congressional approval. The only person you have to convince is me. Secretary Jefferson, you have the floor, sir.
When we were on death's door, when we were needy, we made a promise. We signed a treaty. We needed money and guns and half a chance. Who provided those funds?
France.
In return, they didn't ask for land. Only a promise that we'd lend a hand and stand with them if they fought against oppressors. And revolution is messy, but now is the time to stand. Stand with our brothers as they fight against tyranny. I know that Alexander Hamilton is here and he would rather not have this debate. I'll remind you that he is not Secretary of State. He knows nothing of loyalty. Smells like new money, dresses like fake royalty. Desperate to rise above his station. Everything he does betrays the ideals of our nation. Hey, and if you don't know, now you know, Mr. President.
Thank you, Secretary Jefferson. Secretary Hamilton, your response.
you must be out of your mind if you think the president is gonna bring the nation to the brink of meddling in the middle of a military mess. A game of chess where France is queen and kingless. Who signed a treaty with a king whose head is now in a basket. Would you like to take it out and ask it? Or should we honor our treaty, King Louis's head? Do whatever you want, I'm super dead.
Enough. Hamilton is right.
Mr.
We're
President.
too fragile to start another fight.
But, sir, do we not fight for freedom?
Sure, when the French figure out who's gonna lead them.
The people are leading.
People are rioting. There's a difference. Frankly, it's a little disquieting. You would let your ideals blind you to reality. Hamilton,
Sir.
draft a statement of neutrality.
Did you forget Lafayette?
What?
Have you an ounce of regret? You accumulate debt, you accumulate power, yet in their hour of need you forget.
Lafayette's a smart man, he'll be fine. And before he was your friend, he was mine. If we try to fight in every revolution in the world, we never stop. Where do we draw the line?
So quick-witted.
Alas, I admit it.
I bet you were quite a lawyer.
My defendants got acquitted.
Yeah. Well, someone ought to remind you.
What?
You're nothing without Washington behind you.
Hamilton.
Daddy's calling.
Here's credits for all that you saw. Shout out to Lin-Manuel Miranda, one of my artistic heroes. He is amazing. Here you see the cast and the animators. Definitely give them a follow since they did such a great job animating. Word of note, I did select the clean version of both of the songs, which is not in the original animation. So the question that I have for you today to post in the comments underneath are, what are 2 things you will learn by watching Cabinet Battle number 1, Cabinet Battle number 2 from the musical Hamilton? Hope you enjoyed watching the great animation and also the fantastic music from the play. And as a nice way to send off the weekend and close out this unit. Have a great weekend. I miss you all. Take care.